Panther movie. Um, you should watch the Black Panther movie, and that's probably gonna be the first video I release after this.
So that was a fucking lie.
What's up, y'all? So, as you can see, I didn't end up putting out that Black Panther video next. But, hear me out. So, that movie is, it is pretty long, man. I'm not gonna hold. So here's the way that I'm thinking of it. Black History Month is coming up soon. Black Panther's a black people movie. I'm gonna release the Black Panther video sometime in Black History Month, hopefully. And as you can hear now, or well, maybe not hear actually, I'm in a much more soundproofed area now that I'm recording in. No beeps, no me rustling around underneath the cover. It's just me and my mic, me recording. I guess I can try and go back to the place where like the beeping and stuff was, but I just kind of prefer a more like solitary, crisp style where you can basically only hear my voice. Anyway, that last video took me forever to edit, and I'm gonna try to switch up the style, focus on more minimalistic editing, and you know, let the gameplay behind me carry the video, unless it's more preferential to have like majority edits, have the video be more funny, be more entertaining to watch, instead of just, you know, having something running in the background while I speak over it. But this video isn't being made so I can just, you know, take you a step by step of how I'm trying to evolve or switch up my style. I guess this video is going to be the most filler video, for lack of better words to use, as it's just going to be me talking about me in a interesting way that I don't know if you can piece together from the title of the video, because I haven't thought of one yet. Before I say anything else, I've written 2 scripts on videos that I'm planning to make in the recent future, hopefully. Believe it or not, none of what I'm saying right now has been scripted, and I'm just kind of telling y'all what's on my mind. Anyway, I've been yapping way too long unscripted, so please enjoy the video. Making this is a more personal and insightful video, so you can more or less see into who I am as a character and just have a more silly and funny description of me that isn't so serious and so well spoken. So this video is about every single nickname I've had over my entire lifespan that I can remember. As you watch and listen through, I'll be explaining on screen and verbally the meaning and context behind some of my nicknames. And then some nicknames won't need any context because they're pretty stupid. First nickname I can ever think of having is Jaw. This was like when I was super duper duper young, so like still a baby, an infant probably even. But it's because my name starts with J-A. Me personally, when I think of Jaw, I think of J-A-H and not just J-A. My friends when I was super young made fun of the way that it was spelled, J-A, and said it was laughing in some other language, and then he said ja 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 like that, and you know, pointed and made that noise at me as if he were laughing, and it made me pretty upset, I'm not gonna lie. This next one is a baby nickname, and I'm pretty sure this one comes from me, because you know how babies repeat the words that they hear, so if people referred to me as Ja, of course I'd be saying Ja Ja. And until this very day, that baby name is stuck, and most of my older family refers to me as Jaja. This next one is a little less silly and a little more personal. It's King, coming from my dad. I'm pretty sure it's because he's from New York, and, you know, calling people King is a sign of respect over there. Not that I'm speaking from experience, I have no idea. Sometimes he'd mix King and Jaja together and call me King Jaja or something like that, and then sometimes he'd extend it even further and say King Jaja Waja, which is absolutely insane in my opinion, but you know, parents do be parenting and stuff. The next one is coming from my cousin Sinus Burger, and you know, being a jit and not knowing how to play fighting games, the second that I learned a cool move or something, you know, that people didn't know how to really react to, I'd spam it. I spam it a lot. So, yeah, calling me Burger was kind of like an act of saying that I was cheesing or like, you know, spamming. And it's whatever. I didn't really mind. This one is very personal to me. This is one that I haven't heard in well over 5 years now, because this was one coming from my birth mother, and it was only a nickname that she would call me, from my knowledge, of course. I don't know if she called any of my other siblings that, and if she did, that's fine. But it's Little King. This one is the corniest one in my opinion. Coming from my cousins, they had this thing like constantly where they wanted something to sound cool or gangster or whatever. And didn't work. It didn't work in this case. It didn't work at all. It actually sounded way worse than what it was originally, and this one's jiggity. Don't know why they thought that was a good idea or why they thought they cooked with that, but I promise you they didn't, and nobody's called me that, like, ever. Next one is coming from an assortment of family, but mostly my grandma. When I was super young, I had a pretty big obsession with fire and like lighting stuff on fire. I mean, I still have an obsession with fire. I like fire as a concept. I like fire as a metaphor and using it in phrases and all that fun stuff, but I don't go out of my way to light stuff on fire anymore. But you would probably guess this one's pyro. This next one is probably one of the silliest ones on the list, and it's Apple's 57. It's some random gamer tag that I made one day while playing a mobile game. No idea why it's Apple's or the number 57. I don't like the number 57. Monster. I destroyed a lot of stuff. I got into a lot of fights. I had real bad anger issues when I was super young. Loser. So I wouldn't really call this a nickname per se, but I kind of turned it into my own thing, yeah, like I'm the loser, I'm the underdog, I'm this, that, and the third, like all that stuff, turning a negative into a positive, but I definitely was a loser, and I got bullied a lot as a kid. I want to say, like, from 5th to the later end of 7th grade, it was just, like, constant. Hunters underscore bro 2. Alright, so this one actually does have a semi-interesting backstory. At the time, I didn't know what to make for a gamer tag, and my little brother, he wanted to be referred to as Hunter for some odd reason. I genuinely don't know why. That name is pretty lame. For a mixed kid, I mean. Like, a primarily black mixed kid, Hunter is kind of insane, and it doesn't fit him at all. But, I was supporting it at the time. I was like, yeah, sure, I want to rep my little brother. I want to rep his ideas. So, Hunters underscore bro 2. Why was the 2 there? I don't know. Bitchless. So, coming into 8th grade, I started turning things around for myself. I met this guy who I'm no longer friends with now, currently, but we were pretty cool at the time. He taught me how to, like, be who I wanted to be instead of just, like, pretending or, just hiding. I'm pretty sure I don't use my Twitter account anymore, but if you were to look it up, you'll probably see something along the lines of no longer bitches or something like that, because I have gotten a girlfriend or two since then, so yeah, no longer bitches. How creative. These are the names I'm more familiar with and the ones that I like a lot more, and I can say a lot more about. Coming to the end of 9th grade, this one's gonna sound crazy out of context, but that's why I'm explaining them as I go. One is dog, and yes, as in D-O-G, like the animal. I know it's not because I was pulling so many girls or I was like, I don't know, doing what dogs do, being a furry. It wasn't nothing like that. It's because I was really into shadow boxing at the time, and I do this thing where, like, I'd end up listening to my opponent if they called out what they were gonna do while they were shadow boxing. So, let's say they say, like, left, up, down. My neck would snap left, up, and then down as they're going left, up, and then down, and I'd lose every single time. Eventually, like, all my friends, they learned to, stop calling out whenever they were playing against me, so I didn't listen to what they were saying they were going to do, and they only really did it against other people, which I thought was pretty cool, because, they respected me like that. But yeah, dog it's not a favorable nickname of mine. Immediately transitioning into my next nickname, which is Sparky. It's the moniker I go by now. Moniker? Is that the right word that I'm using? Anyway, it's the main nickname that I go by now. It's my quote-unquote street name. It's basically a spin on dog. My one friend, who I'm also not friends with again, not the same guy by the way, uh, he was thinking of Fairly Odd Parents, the dog, Sparky. I was telling him about the fact that I listened to my opponents when we'd shadowbox. And he was like, you know what? You're just like that dog, Sparky, from Fairly Odd Parents. I'm going to call you Sparky from now on. And then he wouldn't stop calling me Sparky. Then everybody else started calling me Sparky. At first I didn't like it, but I've embraced it since then. And I actually think it's kind of cool sometimes. The next one is also kind of embarrassing, but it's stuck to this day, and it's L Lean Goku, and it's because I was pretty obsessed with Dragon Ball Fighters at the time, especially the character Goku Black. If you go into my past videos, you'd see me playing Goku Black in all my Fighters clips. I still play Fighters to this day, and I still do play Goku Black, and he is my best character. But I don't rock the purple gi anymore, so the whole idea of lean Goku is pretty cringe, man. I'm not gonna lie. So this one's also pretty embarrassing. Well, not embarrassing, but it's just not something that I'm proud of or that I can see myself being proud of, and it's Lotus. Now, there's a few reasons why I wanted to change from Sparky to Lotus, because it was kind of like saying goodbye to wanting to be a part of, like, I don't want to say I wanted to be a part of Street, but I just wanted to be, like, I don't know, seen as more than just some guy, you know. I wanted to play into the role of Sparky. But ultimately, I got into a fight, and I lost. I lost pretty bad, actually. I don't think I landed a single hit on the guy. He beat me. He beat me bad. And since that day, I've never gotten into a fight again. Bro beat me so bad he turned me into a pacifist. The name Lotus comes from the symbol of rebirth, and you know, at the time I just wanted to shed that image of being so angry and wanting to, you know, get back from my friends, because that was the whole reason I got into the fight in the first place. And you know, I just wanted to stop that. But yeah, Lotus, Rebirth, something cringe, stupid, something that a ninth grade version of, like, probably anybody watching would have done. Hits underscore OnlyFans. Can you imagine where I've gotten the inspiration from? This one was also a Fighters exclusive title for, you know, a specific character. I was really into Hit at the time. The whole, like, Fighters characters, OnlyFans, beating, you know, somebody who was really good at the game or played super seriously was just something I found funny. The next one is Daddy's Sword, and yes, it is exactly how it sounds. This one was a inside joke between me and my now ex-girlfriend, but it was also Fighters exclusive, and it was for Trunks, because you'd never guess I got really into Trunks at the time. The next one is Cursed Romance, and this one was a whole thing with me and my ex as well. It's a song, actually, like, the name is coming from a song, but, like, I used the song and how it felt, you know, to describe how me and my ex's relationship was. I felt cursed. I felt, you know, trapped. I felt stuck, and I didn't know how to ever get out of that bad situation I was in. So I tried to explain it in music and, you know, express myself, but she never caught on. I would just kind of use it as a warning to any place where I use the title of Cursed Romance to just let people know that my romance is cursed. This next one is pretty silly and not as serious as some of the other ones are, but I rep it pretty regularly and I like it a lot. It's the Vampire King. And I know that sounds pretty random, but there's this artist that I listen to. His name's Slick. Well, he used to be Slick, but he goes by something different now. I'll put it up on the screen. Anyway, his whole thing is, you know, being the Vampire King. He's into that whole Cardi, Bat, you know, blood, vampire aesthetic, and I picked it up and I never put it down since then. Bro's music was so good and personal that it made me steal his identity. That's absolutely bonkers. This one is also a spin on Sparky. It's Sparky 2 Crazy, and it's kind of my way of keeping Sparky without, you know, repeating the same mistakes I made before. A loophole, if you will. Last but not least, we have Bonnet Boy, and this one's one of my favorites. I'm wearing my bonnet right now, actually, and I needed to wear my bonnet a lot whenever I first got my dreads because of like all the oils and stuff. I didn't want to get it everywhere, and I need to sleep with it still to this day so my hair doesn't look all wild when I wake up. Also, it was playing along with the whole nonchalant dreadhead bit, because when I had the bonnet on, my dreads wouldn't be out and I would be chalant instead of nonchalant. Anyways, this video took forever. It's 1 a.m. for me right now. I'ma have to clock out. Y'all have a good day or night, whatever the case may be. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, hopefully.